Welcome everyone to another edition of The Rundown, and in this edition I'm going to sit down with Drew Moor to talk about what was a disappointing loss for the Colorado Rapids here at home at Dick's Sporting Goods Park against the Seattle Sounders. We'll hear from the team as well with their thoughts on the match. Afterwards, we're going to quickly turn the page as the Colorado Rapids need to look ahead to the weekend match against the Portland Timbers. That and more on The Rundown. All right, Drew, so the Colorado Rapids just coming off what was a disappointing loss to the Seattle Sounders at home at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, a 2-1 loss. What did you make of that match overall?
Disappointing, obviously, especially after the momentum I felt like the team gained on the previous Saturday night, with their result against the New England Revolution. I thought we were going to see a little bit more energy to start the match, and I felt like the Rapids started on the back foot, whereas back here at home against a good team in the Seattle Sounders with good players, they needed to start that game with a little bit more energy, right? And I think you got yourself in a little bit of a hole, waited for them to throw the first punch. And when you're playing a team like Seattle, that's going to be too deep of a hole to dig yourself out of, I feel like. Now, there were some bright spots. I thought Cole Bassett scored another goal, which hopefully will continue to feed his confidence a little bit. I like what I saw from Luis Diaz when he came onto the game. The game changed when he made his way onto the pitch. He was confident, he was direct, exactly what we talked about. It's a congested schedule right now, so hopefully we'll see him continuing to build his fitness and be able to get more minutes. But you have to start games better than the Rapids did against Seattle.
I think it was that slow first half that did the Colorado Rapids in, but they picked it up in the second half, and albeit a consolation goal, nice to see Cole Bassett score that goal, get some confidence for him on an individual level. So this is what the team actually had to say after the match against the Seattle Sounders.
I felt that we lacked the energy and the intensity that you need to play at games at home. We were second best a little bit and never quite earned the right to play in the game. That didn't change really until the last 20 minutes. And at that point I thought that we did play with the right energy and intensity, and that was what we wanted to see from the start. So it was disappointing that wasn't there, but really pleasing that it came at the end.
We're not coming out with enough aggression and energy. We didn't last game either, even though we turned up in the second half, but it's really stuff that you can control, that we're not coming out with, that mentality, that energy, because obviously you're not going to have your days on the ball, but that can't be every game where we're not showing up like that, so definitely put us in a hole.
So we heard from the team there in terms of their disappointment with the result, Drew, but now have to quickly turn the page as the Colorado Rapids have to travel to Portland to take on the Portland Timbers. During the weekend, the Portland Timbers are looking resurgent ever since they let go of Gio Savarese from the head coach position. What's it going to take for the Colorado Rapids side to take on what is a confident, resurgent Portland Timbers side?
It is. Portland they've certainly turned it around here a little bit, since making the coaching change. They're not as direct as they have been the past couple seasons, a little bit more pragmatic. They can build out a little bit more. But for me, the Rapids have to make it about themselves. Of course, Portland have Sebastian Blanco, they have Evander, they have Felipe Mora is scoring goals, they have Dairon Esprilla, Brian Acosta is there now, good friend of ours. But the Rapids need to make it about themselves and go and start the match on the front foot. Embrace being the bad guy on Saturday night, going into the Timbers home field, which is always a wonderful atmosphere. They're feeling good about themselves right now. The Rapids need to say, forget about that. You're not going to feel good after tonight, right? And that's, you start the game with energy, you start playing in their half. Don't mess around with it in your defensive third. Don't give them a short field to come at you, right? Start on the front foot. Throw in a couple hard tackles early, take a couple early shots on target. If you get an early goal, awesome. But don't worry about what happened in the previous match. Don't worry about what's gonna happen in the next match. It's Portland Timbers right now. You go in there, spoil the atmosphere, spoil the good run of form they're on, and just embrace being the bad guy.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Drew, it's going to be a tough match at the Portland Timbers, who are resurgent. They're in good form right now, but the idea is that the Colorado Rapids just kind of spoil the party, spoil that form that the Portland Timbers have been showing lately. So you, the viewers, can catch that match between the Colorado Rapids taking on the Portland Timbers in Providence Park. That'll be Saturday, September 23rd. Kickoff is set for 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. You can catch that on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. That's it for The Rundown.